What's up? This is Noah Krepenin.
This is Carson Mike.
And we did the grokster versus MGM Studios court case filed in 2004 and ended in 2005.
MGM Studios is an American media company who primarily focuses on entertainment companies and programs such as television, film production, and music production. They sued the other party, Grokster, a privately owned software company that designed a peer-to-peer network that allows file sharing between multiple parties to, copyright and infringe MGM Studios content. A similar court case is A&M Records versus Napster in 2001.
The reason for litigation was due to the copyright infringement, more specifically the contributionary infringement, due to the fact that Grokster did not directly own any material by MGM. The court case is a little iffy, and in the lower courts, Grokster won in the parties because they were not held liable for their customers doing copyright infringement and stealing MGM Studios records, but it increased and went up to the Supreme Court, which eventually MGM took part in it and they started to win the case.
The national statute in question is the Copyright Act, established in 1976 by the 94th United States Congress. It was enacted to promote the progress of the sciences and useful arts, and it protected owners of certain materials from the sale and distribution from outside parties.
One of the legal questions at hand are the companies that the file sharing softwares and encourage its users to use instead software for copyright infringement should be held liable for the infringements because it's the company, not the people.
The district court ruled for Grokster with the reason being that the software companies are not liable for copyright violations coming from inside their software, basically meaning that the contributory infringement does not mean that they are directly selling or handling the infringed material. Instead, they were making money off of it, advertisements promoting the distribution of infringed material.
When it traveled up to the Supreme Court, on June 27, 2005, the Supreme Court ruled that the software that was made for file sharing of the copyright works was held liable for copyright infringement that takes place in the software, so the company is liable and the people cannot be liable for it because it was a free database that basically allowed them to use copyright sounds, and MGM Studios did not like that, and they're getting their sounds used by the people through Grokster. And it was an unanimous decision of 9-0 Supreme Court judges that ruled Grokster guilty.
The conclusion of this case affects many people, including creators, artists, producers, and more, protecting them from copyright and infringement and the use of their material without paying for it. The implications of this case include the rights of said material back to the owners of the copyrighted material, and no more free material for non-paying consumers. The people that must take account to the results of this ruling is people who copyright, infringe, or pirate material from the internet. This case benefits the artists, owners of said material, and ensures that they make the most amount of money on their material as possible.
All right, that has been Grokster versus MGM Studios court case in 2005. Once again, MGM won the case in Supreme Court. Grokster won cases in the lower courts, but in the end, the Copyright Act did win in the court.
One thing to take account in this certain situation is that Grokster did not directly infringe any said material. Instead, he created a peer-to-peer network that allowed people to take material that they have recently paid for and then send it to other people via this peer-to-peer network, where they would make money off of the said advertisements for their peer-to-peer network. So they weren't directly paying for the material and then selling it to customers for a different price or making money off of it that way. They're making money off of the advertisements that were being made for their peer-to-peer network. That is why it is contributory infringement and not just direct infringement. And there was too many people using the peer-to-peer networks for Grokster to directly infringe or for MGM Studios to directly infringe the users of said peer-to-peer networks. So they instead went for Grokster, the owner of the peer-to-peer network, to then get him for contributory infringement.
And a little bit about after the case, the grokster did unfortunately close the website, and they're no longer around, but MGM is still around, making their sounds, movies, advertisements, and what so on. But there are new websites just like Grokster that still infringe the acts, but at the end of the day, like, if you just, like, what can you do?
Yeah.
Thank you again. This is Noah Krupenning
This is Carson Bike.
on the MGM versus Grokster court case. Bye.